Freeform Explorer reports allow users to create valuable custom reports combining dimensions, metrics, segments, filters, and more. In a previous lesson, we briefly demonstrated how you can edit the pre-existing reports, which are great for data sets that are needed on an ongoing basis. The Explorer reports, however, offer a bit more flexibility and a bit of a sandbox to analyze the data prior to publishing as an ongoing report within the library. Freeform reports are great for business users, and we have found them invaluable when utilizing a series of tabs to walk through an analysis during a presentation when trying to get your raise. Of budget, of course. That said, I would not recommend those light at heart to dig into these reports at first. Nor would I recommend using these for ongoing dashboard-like reports. They are truly explorations. You can think of creating custom reports as creating pages in a dashboard, where Freeform Explorer reports allow you to slice and dice data prior to publishing to the enterprise. Much like the reports area has seen quite the overhaul within the user interface, so have the Explorer reports. The means in which you create custom reports is completely different, but in a great way. We will split Freeform user experience in 3 different panes. One, on the left-hand side, is the variables area, where you set the date range, dimensions, metrics, and segments to use within your report. Just to the right of that are the tab settings. This is where you can set the custom elements of a report, such as which visualization to use, segments, rows, columns, values, i.e. metrics, and filters. We'll dig into this deeper. Then, third, obviously, we have the report area. This is where the actual report is displayed as you build it and will be displayed to other users who you share the report with. As you will see, one of the major benefits to these new reports versus the custom reports in Universal is the fact that you can slice and dice metrics without having to press save each time to see if it works or not. Let's dig into the variables section a little bit more. Starting with the basics, we have the date range. You can now select between a wide range of pre-built ranges, as well as, of course, create a custom date range. Now keep in mind that other users will be unable to change these date ranges unless they copy the report. More on that later. Just note that it's best to use the dynamic ranges versus probably hard coding a range in this area. We will walk through powerful segments in another lesson, but GA4 does come with some powerful templates to get started. Keeping in form, the way you create new segments is quite a bit different than what you might be used to, but the general concept is the same. You can think of segments as filters for your data, such as defining users that come from organic or purchases made using a mobile device. It is also worth noting that you can still set session or user-based segments and adding a new one, event-based segments. One key difference in the Google Analytics 4 Explorer reports is the fact that you will need to think ahead of what dimensions and metrics you will utilize within your Explorer report. You will notice only a few selected at first, if any, and you will need to click the plus button and select from several of the dimensions and metrics you are used to, and actually quite a bit more. While a bit inconvenient, we have found that the extra thought process needed to build out the limit of 20 dimensions and metrics desired within a report, the selection will dynamically limit any combination of dimensions and metrics that are not allowed together. It may be easier to expand all compatibles to view these limitations. Reports like path exploration and others have a very limited set. Third, you can notice the dimensions and metrics are intuitively categorized, but you can also search for what you may need with the search box at the top. And fourth, make sure you press import when you're done. Note, if you are utilizing Google Signals for your user identity, you may notice quite a bit of sampling if your combination of dimensions contains less than 50 users within that time period. Within the tab settings area of Freeform Explorer reports, the real flexibility and power is introduced. The options available are closer to Google Data Studio than the old Google Universal Custom Reporting. Woohoo! We have split this area up into 6 different sections. First, the technique. This is simply how you select from the various types of reports we just mentioned. And we're starting with Freeform. Second is the visualization. Within the freeform reports, tables will likely be the most used type, used in order to explore and analyze your data. You can also select from several visualization options when needing to display data to others. Each viz type has their own unique characteristics, and we'll review those after explaining these other broad options. Third is segment comparisons. Just like before, you will want to utilize segments in order to understand how various groups of users compare with each other, i.e. paid versus organic users, or people who saw the product wizard versus those that didn't. The options above will be used for all types of reports. That said, the areas below will review in general. However, there are slight variations based upon the visualizations that you used. So fourth, we have your rows or breakdowns. This is akin to choosing the dimensions of a report or defining what it is to be measured. There are also various options of how to display this data. Values. Again, familiarly, the values section would be akin to choosing the metrics of the report or how we are measuring the dimension. Six, and finally, filters. We have the familiar option to filter out various dimensions or users. There's also a slick means to create filters directly within the report tab. This is also the same across all freeform reports. The first step is to define the visualization you'd like to utilize. Now, this can be a hot topic. You're going to hear us talk about our disgust of pie charts. However, every piece of visualization has its place. We've included this quick reference chart within your workbook to help you and your team decide how best to show your team data.